Hello, community. Today we are going to be talking about the key to living in harmony with the greater universe, to living in a way that will allow you to be the most optimal and to thrive in your life, to access a place of abundance, the key to the law of attraction, and how to activate your anti-aging properties, as well as what is causing progressed age to begin with. I'm going to be talking about the secrets and the technique shared by the HeartMath Institute and Greg Braden as well. Now, let's get into it. I'm going to share these things from the experience of somebody who has experienced what I'm asking you to open yourself up to. I have been going deeper and deeper into a heart-based experience for the past 8 years. I have been unlocking what it is to live in my heart on a daily basis, moment by moment. And I can say with total honesty and confidence now that I am in a heart-based experience 90% of the time. The key is entering your heart. The key is a heart-based experience in your life. The key is feeling connected to your heart, your physical beating heart, the organ that is your heart, but also the energetic properties of connecting with this organ and what they can do for you. Why our heart? What is it that makes our heart something that, first of all, is currently not super connected to us through our conscious awareness? I want you to get something with me right now. When you are going through your life, we feel our consciousness in our head. That means our consciousness is attached to and identified with the brain. That means that you are processing from the brain and living your life from the conscious awareness of the brain, your place of intelligence. And this is a vital place of our software and our ability to process and make use of things from a logical and intellectual standpoint in the physical world. It allows us to store large amounts of physical-based information, and it allows us to interact in the world in a way where the brain has been physically and specially designed for human beings to interact with this planet, and the brain has been specially designed for physical life. Its specialty is physicality. Its superpower is how to optimize your physical experience. But it has become socially acceptable to disconnect from our hearts, to disconnect from our place of feeling, from our emotions, and from our consciousness being connected not just with our brain, but for our consciousness to live also within our chest simultaneously, for our consciousness and our identification to spend time and frequent time in the heart chakra, in the physical heart. What do I mean when I say spend time in the physical heart? Well, guess what? Science has proven that the heart has a tiny brain, that the heart has an electromagnetic field more powerful than the brain, that the brain receives orders and messages from the heart. It is doing more than pumping blood through your body. It is the central system within you, and it is the first organ to come into fruition on a cellular level in the womb. The heart is the core center to everything you are. And the heart, or the heart chakra, is the organ responsible for human function that is associated with multidimensional and universal wisdom. The brain, it does the physical world very well. The heart, it is the one personally responsible for our multidimensional awareness. Now, if we are having a heart-based experience, you will allow yourself to directly plug in to the information of the multidimensional universe. The 0 point, or the black hole within our hearts, are connected to every other source of information, black hole or 0 point within the known universe. And that is what we call intuition, folks. That is what we call extrasensory abilities. That is what we call an extrasensory perceptual knowing of the world beyond what most people are capable of. There's a wisdom within the heart that is integral to our optimal function, and there is a wisdom within the brain that is integral to our optimal function as humans. When you enter your heart, you enter a place where you feel so connected to everything that is, because it is literally your place of feeling and connection to everything that is. You feel like you belong. You feel like you make sense. You feel like life is intentional, like you're intentional, like you're meant to be here. You feel in a place of total power, like everything is gonna always be okay, even if it's not okay, even if there's consequences, even if bad shit happens, everything is gonna be okay, because it's all happening for a reason and it's all meant to be. And you are so capable of being your intentional purpose in your unique self exactly as you are. That's what heart-based living is all about. Heart-based living is a place of total abundance. There is no such thing as any form of lack within the heart. Now, we're gonna talk more about that when we come to the manifestation section of this video. But let's get in there and talk about some key points from the HeartMath Institute and Greg Braden, a technique that we're going to be talking about that they have given us that will allow you to enter your heart. And I'm going to give my own added suggestions on how to optimize this experience habitually. Now, what you do is you put your hand on your heart and you allow yourself to breathe into your heart and see and feel the connection between your heart and your brain. When you're doing this, you feel in your body, like you actually want to build sensations. You're not thinking about it, you're feeling. When we think thank you, we are thinking gratitude. But when you feel thankful, it's a different thing. You want to feel. You want to allow the sensations in your physical body to erupt into a specific signature in the form of joy, gratitude, love, care, and compassion. You may think of things to elate this experience, but you want to focus on optimizing these feeling states within you and expanding them within you. Now, you can do this and expand even deeper and go even deeper when you're in an environment that feels good, when you have the time and space, that there is nothing else that is currently causing you stress or suffering. You're gonna go the very deepest when you're genuinely already in a good place, an environment. You can also expand these feelings by focusing them into the water you drink as well. Spending time in nature and connecting to the earth directly will absolutely allow you to connect to this heart-based experience. You can also physically start acting out caring about people in your life and think about how to actually act out caring about them and think about the different ways that you can care about them and actually go about doing them. You can have compassion for people in the moment that they are feeling a certain way, to prioritize what they're going through instead of what you're going through in a moment, and to feel that sense of compassion for whatever it is that they are going through. You can actively think of things to be grateful for, but also actively create and plan things to be grateful and thankful for. And you can allow yourself to expand this feeling of gratitude by thinking of the gratitude in the moment that you're experiencing these things that you know that you're grateful for. So if I am grateful for the food that I have access to, then when I'm actually eating that food, I'm going to be able to feel the most gratitude for it. And we can break this down to the different sensations of taste and smell and touch and feeling that exist in the sacral chakra. You can allow yourself to say I love you to people more often and appreciate the natural world around you and appreciate people more often, to look at relationships on the street that you appreciate, people holding hands, or a specific action you see with families potentially, and allow yourself to start saying I love you, I love you, I love you to people. When you say I love you to someone, they feel that within your heart. There is a communication that is always taking place in the electromagnetic field of our hearts. When my heart is in a 10-foot radius of another human's heart, it is like our heart's electromagnetic fields are touching and bonding, like their feelers are coming together and joining. And there is so much communication happening there. You literally can know everything that the person is feeling and thinking within your heart communication to them. And when you say I love you to another human's heart, even in your head, when you feel I love you for another human, it is the most powerful thing that you can do for them and you can do for yourself. It is the most incredible heart-based experience there is being able to feel love, unconditional love, exactly as they are. When you are next to someone's physical heart and connecting with someone's physical heart, it is an intimate dance and relationship, and there is so much information being passed in that field to one another. Science has showed us that the telomeres on our cell division, which are basically like the protective cap that's protecting our DNA as the cells divide, diminish with stress. And they can actually replenish as well with a heart-based experience. Science has showed us that telomeres do in fact diminish with stress. What is stress? Stress is the opposite of a heart-based experience. Stress is when we're in survival mode. Stress is when we feel like we can't take things and things are not going to be okay and we're at odds with the universe. Stress feels like we won't make it through the way that we want to make it through and that we're in resistance and a fight. A heart-based experience is the exact opposite of that, and it allows us to face in an optimal way anything, any contrast that comes up against us that would in fact cause us stress, so that we can deal with it differently to reduce the potential for stress in any situation. Let's talk about the law of attraction and how you can manifest your life to be entirely different, entirely healthier, and quantum leap in your empowerment through the heart space. Now, the heart space is a place of total abundance and total love and total connection with everything that is. And if we're in that place with the universe will mirror us exactly that physically. When we are trying to get money, for example, from a place of scarcity or a fear in any way or form that isn't available to us, or feeling like I want this thing, I want this money, and I'm focused on that, not of being value to others, not to how others are receiving me. When I'm focused on how to get something from them and not simply how to receive in a way that is of value, that is of purpose, that is of passion, and that is in alignment and interaction with other in the form of best interest. Now, when you are in a place of abundance and you fill a need within the universe, you fill up a need and a value for others, you will always receive your needs and your value being filled and replenished tenfold. If we're not in our heart when we're trying to manifest things, we will be doing it to try to get. When we can love ourselves and when we can love others and when we can be in the vibration of love, there is nothing that we can't manifest or do. And it will be the purest heart-based experience ever. And it stops being about those things that you want so badly, And it starts being on just living a better life and feeling better in your life. And when you can start to just prioritize how you feel, and when you can just prioritize making your life better overall, those things that are wants for you will absolutely manifest, but they stop being the most important thing. Now, the key to staying habitually in your heart, and the key to manifesting in your heart, and the key to understanding why humans have disconnected from their heart is this: our fear of negative emotions, our resistance to negative emotions, pushing negative emotions away, and the trauma that is locked up within most people on earth today. If you want to connect to your heart, it also means connecting to the emotional experience you are having that doesn't feel good. Most of us, we don't know what to do with negative emotions, and we're totally disconnected from our emotions overall. We don't really have a conscious awareness of them, and when we do, we're either in resistance to them, or they feel kind of distant, or we feel like we're kind of in a fight with them. That is because humans are so uneducated on how to be with our emotions. And it's really this act of surrender with your emotions, putting your attention and focus on them. For instance, if you have anger, it might feel like somebody punching in your belly and a fire exploding. Focus on those sensations. Focus on that feeling state, not the thoughts of, I hate this person, etc., etc. The feeling of rage within you that is connected to those thoughts. Focus on it with presence and unconditional love and unconditional attention, and start to validate it and allow it to heal. The completion process is the absolute best method on this planet that I have ever learned that will help heal your trauma and connect you to your negative emotions. And when you do that, guess what? People don't spend time in their heart, and they're so disconnected from it because if they're suppressing something locked up in their heart, the negative emotions, the bad feeling ones, then there's a protective wall that they're blinded to getting on the inside to, because they're actively trying to suppress, deny, and disown what's happening in that heart, what's happening in their emotional system. And the emotional system is an extension of the heart. It is literally the heart is the emotional system. And when we allow ourselves to realize that the reason that we're locked out of our heart is because we have no idea how to deal with our negative emotions, and we have all of this trauma stored there that makes it that if we would actually try to get into our emotional body, and if we would actually try to get into deeper awareness of the lovey feelings and the good feelings, guess what? We're gonna be hit with a wall of sadness. We're gonna be hit with a wall of depression, because those things don't go away when you feel them in your body. Every emotion that we've ever had, if it's ignored and it's not processed properly, it starts building up in your system and it doesn't go anywhere. It builds up like plaque. Emotions are something that are meant to be in motion. They're meant to move. They're meant to be felt and seen, and they have a message to deliver to you. And so if that message wasn't delivered because it was ignored and you were scared of it, then of course the body is going to store that in the system, because you're going to miss the message otherwise if it goes away. So we have to allow ourselves to heal this trauma and to unlock our connection with our negative emotions and have a healthy form with it, so that we can hold hands with our heart space and our positive emotions too, and start living from a heart-based experience. When you actually enter your heart space and you start living from a heart-based experience, it's like you're living in a completely different frequency and a completely different reality. Imagine you can literally be in an ocean of love surrounding you all day, that everything that is responding to you in the universe and everything in your physical experience feels like love, feels like care, feels like compassion, feels like gratitude, appreciation, and joy, and all the positive things, right? When we allow ourselves to be in our heart, we're literally dipping into a new ocean or a new emotional reality within us, where the physical world starts mirroring that, and we get to feel that way all the time. And we don't have to get drunk to feel that way. And we don't have to have a wedding to feel that way. And we don't have to have a baby to feel that way. We get to just feel that way because we're human beings in our heart. I invite you to discover what it is to live from a heart-based experience today. In our next video on thriving, not surviving, we are going to talk about both a very specific example of how competition plays out in society and how to get out of this. As well, we are going to be talking about a heart-based experience of safety at the same time. And this video is going to be a lot less theoretical and metaphorical, and it is going to get into a very specific issue and topic in society and how to completely exit out of that paradigm and enter a new one.